FSU is now supporting a specialized system called Sphere. Sphere is designed to run interactive software applications, making it easier to visualize and explore large data sets stored on any of HPC's file systems. The Sphere system is described on the HPC website, and a picture of the Sphere system is actually posted on the website as well, and the configuration of the system is given on the left-hand side. One of the key features of the Sphere system is also that it is connected to a large PCI chassis containing 16 of the NVIDIA Tesla M2050 GPUs. So HPC users now have a place to experiment with and run CUDA and OpenCL-based codes. There are basically two easy ways to access the Sphere system. First, you can connect to Sphere directly from your PC. And second, you can connect to Sphere from any of the HPC nodes. I'll demonstrate how to use both approaches here. The first, for the first approach, you need to install 3 pieces of software. You need to have an X Windows system, a No Machine client, and the Sphere connection tool installed in your machine. All of those tools are described on the HPC website with links to where you can download versions of the software for Mac, Windows, and Linux. After everything is downloaded onto your system, to connect to Sphere from your system, you will click onto the Sphere tool. That will open a window that looks like this. And in the left-hand pane, you'll see a variety of resources. In this case, we just see the cluster, the general access cluster. However, it may be that you also see some of the owner-based clusters in the future. But we'll just stick with the general access cluster for this demonstration. Then you want to select the resource, and in this case, 3 resources are listed. The resource that I'm going to select is the application called BMD. After I've selected the application, I make sure that my HPC username is correct, and it is in this particular case. I hit select, and at this point, an OpenNX client pops up. It may be that NX No Machine comes up for you. It just depends on what version of NX you have installed on your system. Again, I type in my username and my password for HPC. Click Login, and at this point it's connecting me to the least loaded Sphere node. That's what the Sphere tool does, is it essentially load balances all of the systems that make up the Sphere cluster. My session now starts, next Windows, and at this point, it's as if I'm running the No Machine application on my desktop. And in fact, by using the NX tool, the response of the application is quite fast, but I'm actually running it on the HPC Sphere cluster. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to load a visualization state that I've prepared in advance and that is stored actually on the HPC file system. So I've created this in advance. I open it up. And at this point, I can visualize that data set. I can change various features just as you would if the application was running on your desktop. The difference is it's not. As I mentioned before, it's running on HPC, and it's also software that I didn't have to install on my machine. This is but one way to actually connect to the Sphere cluster. I can quit out of this application now. And I can show you, I'm going to demonstrate now actually how to connect to the Sphere cluster from the HPC login node. What you want to do at this point is open up an Xterm. I'm using a Macintosh, so there's a built-in client now on Apples that allow you to run an Xterm. And I type in the command SSH space dash capital X space my HPC username at the login node that I have access to, and I'm going to use SC's, the Department of Scientific Computing's login node, to access Sphere. Hit return, ask me for my password. Again, I type in my HPC password, and now I'm actually on the Department of Scientific Computing's login node. From here, to connect to the Sphere cluster, all I have to do is type Sphere. By typing Sphere, this will actually launch the same tool that we saw before, the Sphere connection tool, but it'll launch it on the HPC login node. And here you see the tool. It's actually running from the HPC login node. I'm going to select the general access cluster, but again, there will be other clusters listed here, and these will be owner-based clusters. If you don't have access to them, then you should just go to the general access cluster. I'm going to go ahead and select VMD again. My HPC username is already typed into that box, and click Select. At this point, the NoMachine client is launched. I already have my username, so I just type in my HPC password, then click Login. I requested VMD, so NoMachine now is starting up NoMachine. And just as you had seen before, VMD has started and running just as if it were running on my desktop. So from here I can go in, select that same visualization state, which is stored on the Panasys file system. Click OK. That loads the state, and then I can visualize that data set and use the VMD application to change however I want. That's all there is to it. There's many applications that are preloaded on the HPC Sphere system, and of course you could run any X Windows application that you've installed yourself. If you have any questions about the Sphere cluster, please send a message to support@hpc.fsu.edu, and remember that there's loads of information on the Sphere cluster on the HPC website. Just search for Sphere under the search window. Thanks very much.